Mr. Hartman here with 7th grade ELA. I have with me
Allie, Melissa, Jimmy.
And Jimmy. We're going to discuss The Breadwinner, story about life in Afghanistan for a young lady, and summaries, facts and opinions, and what elements we want to see in summaries of stories. So, Allie, tell us a brief, don't read to us, but go ahead and tell us a brief summary of what The Breadwinner is about.
Okay, well, it's a little girl who lives in Afghanistan with her family, and it was just a regular day, and then something goes wrong, and it changes her life.
Okay.
And she goes on this amazing and tough journey to where she gets to now at the end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You can spoil it, it's okay.
Okay, like her father gets taken away by the Taliban soldiers because he had an education.
So that's what he was arrested for.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then her family thought of a plan to change her into a boy so they could get money, and she goes on this journey trying to hide from Taliban soldiers, making sure they don't find out that she's actually a girl, just to help her family survive.
Okay. Melissa, can you elaborate a little bit on some of the details of how Parvana helps her family? What does she do when she's dressed as a boy?
She goes into town and she just she does her father's job, but then she finds her friend and she starts working with her friend to make more money. Like they dig up bones and then they sell stuff on trades and stuff. And so she just makes all the money.
For her family.
Yeah.
It's really helping her family to survive.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like, right? Jim, anything you want to add to any of that?
Pretty much for the things that she had to do, she had to, same thing as Melissa said, dig up bones, sell cigarettes and stuff like that.
What was her family's life like before the Taliban?
Still not the easiest. Her dad didn't have a leg, so Parvana had to help her and help her father and stuff like that.
Okay. So I want to talk a little bit now about the facts you have in the summaries that you've written. Tell us what the elements of a good summary might look like. Melissa, give us some hints there.
A good summary, a great topic sentence that will clue you off on what you're gonna read later in the summary.
So following that topic sentence, I'm guessing that there's added detail. Allie, tell us a little bit about that.
The topic sentence shouldn't really say what's gonna happen. It should be just short, but has what most of the story is about.
I've heard your class talk about name it,
verb it, a big picture.
So tell me what that means.
So the name it is the story of what the story title is.
Okay.
The verb it is describes, or you can't use is because
Why?
Because it doesn't really say what it is. People can say the breadwinner is about, but the topic sentence shouldn't be what it's about yet.
Okay. What are you saving that for?
What?
The what the book is about. Where does that appear then?
Right after the topic.
So in your detail sentences.
Yeah.
Okay. Back to Jim. Give us some ideas then of what a detail sentence is going to do for your summary.
Well, for a summary, you don't want to get too specific because if you get caught up in one little subject, then that's not around the overall book. But for details, you could do the big parts in the book and pretty much, yeah.
Okay, cool. So now we're going to have the students look at their individual writing and find some of the facts that they used in their own summaries. We'll pause the video for a second and be right back. All right, we're back, and we're going to talk to Jim, Melissa, and we'll start with Allie, discussing one of their facts from their summary. So, Allie, what did you underline?
She had an education.
She being?
Parvana.
Okay, and so what level of, I know she took her father's job. Why is her having an education important to a good summary of the breadwinner?
Okay, well, in the story, since it's in Afghanistan, not most girls have an education and aren't allowed to have one.
Okay.
And it's really hard to get one. And when she uses her education, she could do what her father does, which was read letters for people who can't read them themselves.
How is it that she is fortunate enough to have had an education? Is that because they had money before the Taliban?
Since her father had an education, and she went to school too.
Right.
So her father and the school had to help her with most of the things that she knows now.
All right, interesting. Melissa, what are your facts?
Well, her father was arrested from having an education from England.
Right.
And so then that put her on the task of raising the family. And so since girls and like women weren't allowed to sell stuff in the market, she had to cut her hair and like turn into a boy.
So what part of the plot would you say is that the climax of things when she has to take her father's place, or is that like rising action? What do you think?
I think that's the rising action, because you're kind of thinking, oh, she has to like turn into a boy and she's actually gonna like go into the market. Will she get caught? Will she not? You know, it kind of leads you to ask a lot of questions.
I haven't read it, but it seems to me to be like one of the most realistic fictional stories that I've heard in a while. Like it could totally actually happen. Jim, what was one of the facts that you underlined?
I wrote 17-year-old sister Nuria and mother moved to Mazar-e Sharif so Nuria can get married.
Okay. Why is it important to a summary?
Because this is pretty much the falling action a resolution, and this is important because without Mother and Nuria, it's kind of different for Parbana to make money and stuff.
So she's down. I know one of these siblings passes away at the first house when they have two cars in the nice big house, right? So then there's 4 family members. So then 2, father passes away. Is she by herself after her mother and sister go then? Or is there one family member left?
She's with Miss Vera.
Okay, gotcha. And do we know what happens to her sister and mom after they go to Mazar-e Sharif?
When father gets out of prison, Parbana goes to, they go to Mazar-e Sharif to try to find them. Got
it. Pretty telling, very action-packed sort of story.
Mm-hmm.
So, looking back then in your summaries, why would opinion here, and you just reread them, why would opinion in a summary have, sort of perhaps mislead a reader? Why would opinion be something we don't want to see in a summary?
What's opinion? So
opinion is when I think. See, go back to me for a minute. So I'm wearing a bluish green shirt today, and so that's a fact. My shirt is bluish green. Opinion would be that it is the most handsome polo available at Kohl's for $9.95. So that's an opinion, right?
Oh.
So what sort of opinion do you see? Do you see any opinion in your writing, or why would we not want to have that in? Jim, go ahead.
Well, it's not good to have an opinion, because if I said I think Parbana is the bravest person alive, some people may think that she's not brave, and it's just not good to have that, because facts are the most important that you need in a summary.
Okay, so Melissa, can you expand upon that? Why it's important to not have opinion in your summary?
Well, because if you have an opinion, it's really gonna take you away from your facts, and you really want facts because authors put stuff in their books on purpose, and so if you have a bunch of facts, basically that's really all you need, because a bunch of facts tells the story better than a bunch of opinions.
So we're not looking for a book review, Melissa's opinion of the story, or Melissa's favorite book ever, or least favorite book ever. We're looking for a good summary of the book to help expand upon what happens in there. Allie, anything you want to add about opinion in summary?
Like, if you put an opinion, it's kind of trying to tell other people that that's what they should think too.
Okay.
Because, like, you're thinking it, and if they don't think the same way, they could, like, have a problem with your summary.
It's almost like persuasive writing, in a way, right? Okay, well, thanks so much for your time today. I appreciate you going back over this with us, and look forward to working with you again soon.